Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 788 of our trek and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. As we continue on this trek called life, sometimes we have questions about life. So our Friday trek is a time where we can ask Gramps. Gramps will answer the questions that you would like to ask your dad or granddad, but for whatever reason, this is not possible. No matter how old you are, I know that all of us would like an opportunity to ask Dad or Gramps questions about life in many areas. We will address such areas as finances, relationships, health and fitness, business and work, home repairs and renovations, seasons of life, spiritual and biblical questions, and other areas that come our way. As your fellow sojourner and mentor on this trek that we call life, it is my goal to provide you with practical wisdom and advice from any areas of life. It is crucial that I receive a constant flow of questions, though, so please submit your questions to Guthrie@wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer those questions on Friday's podcast. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Since we did not have to travel to Fort Myers as anticipated this week, it has been a good week to focus on all the tax-related issues which need to be completed for our businesses and our clients' businesses before the end of the month. While on a personal level, we have until April 15th in the United States to file tax returns, companies are required to send out their W-2s and 1099s before the end of January. There are also several quarterly and annual returns which have to be filed before the end of the month. I utilized the time this week for these requirements. It is not always easy to balance work-related duties along with ministry, family, and other duties that each of us have in the course of our lives. So the question for today is, hey Gramps, how can I effectively handle all the demands of work, family, personal needs, and leisure so that I can properly invest sufficient time in each area? So to boil it down to use a common vernacular, is work-life balance even possible? In our busy, technology-driven culture, we all struggle with what is a proper balance in order to accomplish all that we are pressured to complete. We constantly ask ourselves if we're devoting enough time to family, work, leisure, health, fitness, sleep, socializing, and the various ministry or volunteer activities which we are part of. It is almost enough to send us over the edge on a daily basis. I continue to ask myself those same questions at times, in an effort to make sure that I'm prioritizing all aspects of my life. Work-life balance. It has become such a buzzword these days that I sort of get tired of hearing the phrase. While I agree what is intended by those words, I feel that sometimes we're approaching it in the wrong manner. We should not and actually cannot compartmentalize our lives into different silos or containers. Life is an integrated fabric which should be woven together and includes all that we are and all that we do. The fabric of life should be a beautiful picture of a life well lived. I see great danger if we attempt to compartmentalize our lives in such a manner, because it leaves open for potential ethical and moral cracks in certain compartments. This is one reason we see leaders in churches and businesses who appear to be loving and godly people with their families end up having affairs or becoming involved with other questionable practices. When you come to realize that your life is one integrated piece of fabric where decisions in one area are connected to all other areas of life, then you will make decisions differently. As an example, if you fully realize that your business practices are directly connected to your family life or church persona, then you'll make sure that those decisions are in alignment with those values. You have to think in such a manner that every word that you say, everything that you view, every decision that you make should be the same as if our spouse, our children, or our pastor or priest were standing right beside us. And this is a very real scenario, as we're told in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 12. Don't excuse yourself by saying, "Look, we didn't know." For God understands all hearts, and He sees you. He who guards your soul knows you well. He will repay all people as their actions deserve. Once again, it goes back to the old planting and harvesting scenario. Even though I don't feel you should compartmentalize your life, I also fully understand that there are many competing demands for your time, and investing your time in a balanced manner is not always easy. You must know and be fully committed in your mind to what your core, unchangeable values really are. You have to be willing to stand firm on those bedrock values even when it is difficult. This will impact and direct your decisions in every area of your life. You also have to understand that life is made up of various seasons of various lengths. Certain seasons will require more focus in certain areas of life, An example here would be, if you were starting a new business, it would require more time invested in that area in order to make sure that you are successful. This does not mean that you neglect the other areas of your life, but more time will need to be invested in starting and growing your business. But I have to caution you here, this should only be for a season of life and not a lifelong focus. Never lose sight of the fact that all areas of life are a single piece of fabric, which is integrated together and should never be completely separate. In our example of starting a business, there are ways to integrate your family into the business, such as including them in areas where they may be able to assist. Also, keeping the lines of communication with your spouse and children during this time and sharing with them what you are doing and why it is so very crucial. Everyone should be involved in how your time is invested. Within the various seasons of life, you may have to postpone some things that you would like to do because it may just not be the proper season for it at this point. You have to be willing to delay many activities until a more convenient and sensible season. You do not have to be involved with every opportunity that you are offered. A wise person will limit their involvement in many activities that they may desire to be in so that they can focus on those areas that are most important. In our instant everything culture, it takes maturity to be willing to delay involvement for a more convenient season. It is imperative in order to have a balanced, fully integrated life that you know what your values are and what order of priority they rank in your life. I will share my list with you that are ranked in order of importance. The first one is knowing and serving God. My commitment is through Bible study and prayer. Serving God is integrated into every aspect of my life through our client work, this podcast blog, being active in church ministry activities, and showing by example my love for others. This does not mean that I'll be involved in every program that the local church has available, but only those that fit into my overall life plan, which are balanced with all the other demands in my life. Part of my spiritual worship also involves taking care of myself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The second order of priority is my complete and dedicated focus on Paula. This means investing both quality and quantity time with her, assisting her in fulfilling her God-given potential. The third area is our grown children, investing time in their lives and activities where I can be a mentor and a godly example through my life. Fourth is our grandchildren, where possible to be involved and active in their lives through both word and deed. This may take a form of watching them when needed and attending important functions that they are involved in. As they grow older, also becoming a crucial mentor in their lives. Fifth is extended family, providing assistance and guidance as needed where I have opportunity. And sixth, others outside of family members where I can be of assistance. As we wrap up today, I encourage you not to consider that you have to have balance between segmented areas of life, but your life is a unified whole, where one aspect directly impacts and affects every other aspect of your life. Realize that all that you do is important, and then invest your time during the various seasons of life to live life abundantly. Or as the Apostle Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. Next week, we will have a different question to ask Gramps, and Gramps will answer any questions that you may have about life and will provide you with practical wisdom in any area of life. Please submit your questions that you might have to Guthrie@wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer them on our Friday podcast with wisdom and philosophy that Gramps has gained over the years of experience and study. I know that you'll find these insights interesting, practical, and profitable in living a rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on the most important areas of life. So encourage your friends and family to join us and to come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 787 daily treks or read their associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe at iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek is downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.